I thought they might be able to hang on until that last exchange, but they faded a little, along with Slovakia, who had gone down, were leading, now down in 6th position. Norway have come from, where were they, down in 13th, up into 7th. And now, as Mike predicted, have moved ahead of the French. It's certainly not over, Mike, but would you like to put your money on the table?
Oh, it's an amazing race. Well, it's not over for Norway. They're in 7th. They're 40 seconds down. Looking very comfortable for Germany for me. At the moment, second, well, now in first place.
Well, welcome back to what is turning out to be one of the most exciting women's relays that we've had in the World Championships for many, many years. Look at the stage of the race. Leg 3, 5 kilometres. They've got just 1,000 metres to go, and teams like Romania and Italy are still in with a chance. The Slovakians could get on the podium today if they can just produce the perfect final leg. But what's also nice, Mike, is that the major teams have come back, having made mistakes early on. Germany, Ukraine, Russia, Norway, all in contention for a top 3.
It's the perfect race, and Dahlmeier, who's just her first ever race in the big league, if you like. Yes, she's raced at Junior Worlds where she's outstanding, but a nerve-wracking experience to put on an athlete that hasn't even raced World Cup into a World Championships relay, and I think Dahlmeier has passed all the tests.
Yeah, and matching via Shimirienko stride for stride. I know Dahlmeier is a little bit fresher, but she is going to be a permanent member of the German team from now. There is no doubt about that. Uwe Mussigang on the left of the screen at last. He can relax, because it looks as though Germany could be taking their 2nd medal of these championships. It could be their 1st gold of these championships, but it's not over yet, because they still have 1 leg, 2 shoots to go, and that crucial final shoot in the stand position. Norway coming back, Sulumdal storming through the field. She started in 7th, but she's closed down on Russia. She's going to blast past Romania any moment now and give Tora Berger a chance. A slim one maybe, but she will give Tora Berger a chance of getting her 5th medal from her 5th race of the championships.
Incredible. And then Sulumdal, she's got it right down to 35 seconds now. The Russian team exhausted. Shimolova, she's just completely spent. Dahlmeier, where has she found this energy?
Andrea Henkel, who claimed the silver medal in the women's individual just a day before her boyfriend Tim Burke from USA claimed silver in the men's individual, suddenly finds herself in the pressure position. She leads out of the stadium. Leg 4, 6 kilometres, 10 targets, and then Germany may just be able to get some good headlines from the German press, but they've got to win this one first. Italy, a chance of a medal. It's still a slim one, isn't it, Mike? Because with Tora Berger not far behind, I think Karen Overhoff is going to struggle to hold off the power of the great Norwegian, who's been the performer of the championship so far. And then, of course, for Russia, we have Olga Vilakina tucked in behind Norway as they exit the stadium for the final time.
Tora Berger, well, she doesn't know any other way of racing. She's just completely attacked from the line at 38 seconds down.
38.6 seconds. Norway, remember, at one stage were a minute
24.
A minute 24 off the leaders. So they've halved that margin. They've left half of the work for Tora Berger. That's not unusual. Russia 5, Romania 6. Brilliant from them so far. And the Romanians' shooting record, they have missed just 2 targets. Extraordinary performance from them. Ranked 13, up in 6th position at the moment, ahead of the French and ahead of Belarus, 2 teams that they would have expected to beat. The Czech Republic, Mike, it went so well for the first 2 legs, but a penalty loop on the 3rd leg has put them over a minute behind the leaders.
That is a real pity for the Czech Republic, and it was huge pressure for Landova, and she managed no problem in the prone shooting, but she melted a little in the standing, and maybe it was the pace at the front. Henkel flying around or going back under the road, under the tunnel. Henkel, she hasn't missed a shot in the last 40. She got all her targets in the pursuit race, all the targets in the individual to take the silver, but she's at the front of the field now, thanks to Dahlmeier. That was an amazing run from Dahlmeier.
Well, Henkel's got no shortage of medals. She's taken 8 medals in women's relays over the years. Every time she has raced in the German team, every time she's been selected for the German team, they have taken a medal.
I noticed that just in front of our commentary box, the German team are so delighted with Dahlmeier. They've been throwing her up in the air. They're just so happy.
Well, they've certainly found a new superstar. They're probably too late. Many people's opinion, we should have seen her earlier on in the season, given a taste. Had she been Norwegian, had she been French, we would have seen her raced a couple of times already. But it doesn't matter now. They can forget that because she has produced the race of this relay so far. Henkel, Petrushna, the leading two. Petrushna, I'm just wondering in terms of fatigue after some very, very good performances.
I think she'll be fine. Yes, she has a lot of racing in her legs, but well, she's been chased down there by Tora Berger. Petrushna just running at the same pace, really, just losing a couple of seconds on Henkel.
Oberhofer has gained 1 second on Henkel. Tora Berger started 38.6 behind. She's got it to 35.2, so only 3 kilometres gained. It's only a 2-kilometre loop, so it's a small amount at this stage. She's going to have to make up the time in the range, and if anyone can shoot quickly and accurately, it is Tora Berger. And what we've seen from her so far over the last 7-8 days, Mike, is that she is one athlete capable of adjusting her tactics to suit the type of race.
It's a valid point. I don't think when she thought through this race last night, her preparation, she would never have thought that she'd be handed over to in 5th or 6th position. I don't think so. So she's having to adjust her strategy, as you say, as she goes.
Henkel starting the last climb before she descends towards the stadium, and she's taking this at what looks to be about 82-83% of her absolute capacity, just trying to keep things under control, forget about the opposition behind. She needs to disappear into her own little world as she comes in for the prone shoot. She certainly doesn't want to throw it away at that stage.
This race is still a long way to run. Petrushna not losing much more, that's another second. Who would have predicted Italy? I know they came 4th in the mixed relay, but I don't think many would have predicted them in 3rd at this place, and Oberhofer is a good anchor leg.
Yeah, she's 24th in the World Cup standings, which is a great indication of what she's managed to do so far this year. She's been in the top 30 of every race they've had, all the individual races. So Oberhofer is not going to be a walkover for Norway and France and Russia, the 3 big teams coming up behind them, and locked by, separated by only 2 seconds at the moment. Good to see the French coming back into it. Mike, Dorin-Habert, the best of the French on the last leg. I'm glad they had the confidence to do that.
And Dorin-Habert, she's not letting Tora Berger out of her sights. Normally she's losing 6 seconds a lap, at least 8 seconds sometimes to Berger, but she's glued to her today. Vilakina, Patrick, and the Russian girls, they look tired, they look exhausted.
Germany, the defending champions, from Ruhpolding just 11.5 months ago. Are they going to add yet another title? If they get this one, they'll draw level with the Russians over in recent times. First 5, as Mike says, the last 40 targets have gone down from Andrea Henkel. There is no win to speak of. Well, you heard the reaction from the crowd. Now, if anyone can forget that, Henkel can. Chance for Petrushna of Ukraine. 3 out of 3. 8 seconds or so for Henkel to reload. The Ukrainians could close the gap. They will close the gap. Now it's up to Oberhofer of Italy to hit all 5 and just edge a little bit closer to the gold medal position. And Tora Berger settles for her shoot. This should be fast and it should be accurate, but under this sort of pressure, it's very, very tough indeed. Dorin-Habert of France is hitting all the targets. Russia are there as well. The 3 big nations. Astonishing shooting. 15 out of 15. And suddenly the gap closes dramatically as we come towards the final stages.
Have you ever seen anything like that? Shot for shot almost. Well, Doran Aber was the fastest there, and I'll tell you what, they were pushing so hard on that 2 kilometres.
But look at the time margins, Mike. Norway started this leg 38 behind, Russia were 39 behind, and the French were 45 seconds behind. They've halved it on the first lap. There are 3 laps to complete, and at this record we're going to have a 6-way sprint finish.
What a race. It's 6 teams, 21 seconds. It's amazing.
And only Italy in the top 6 now, who we wouldn't have expected to be there. The Czech Republic are in the range again, and the crowd disappointed that they've dropped out of contention. Interesting, everyone with their spare rounds in different places on the rifle.
It's just personal choice, but you really need it quite close to your trigger finger to quickly grab it and get it in the chamber. Romania is still in this race, which I think is brilliant. Tofalvi as anchor leg.
One shoot to go, 3,000 meters still to be skied. Ukraine and Germany are the 2 leading teams. The Ukrainians with Pigrushna, who won the first individual race of these championships, winning the sprint in very good style. The Italians hanging on with Oberhofer. But here come Norway, France and Russia. And time again, we've heard here in Nove Mesto that the one person the women don't want to be on the range with for the final shoot of any race is Tora Berger, and there's a very good chance that she could draw up onto the mat next to Andrea Henkel as Henkel's about to let that first round go.
It would be nerve-wracking for any biathlete, but Tora Berger, she's having to work for this. She's closing the gap, perfect shooting in the prone, and if she just goes into a normal automatic without thinking process, who knows what can happen, but she's closing the gap.
Who do you think's got the fastest ski time for the last 2-kilometre loop?
I do think I know Tora Berger's exhausted, as a lot of the athletes here are, but I think Tora Berger will have the fastest last loop.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Vilakina of Russia. I think the Russians have had ski problems today. We saw Germany with ski problems in the sprint early on. Who's lost the pole there?
Tora Berger
loses it. There you go. It took, what, 20 metres, 25 metres, no time lost. That is an indication of the professionalism of the Norwegian team. The glove is off.
Oh, it pulled the glove off.
Yeah, cold hands, but to be honest, it's not the coldest day we've had so far.
But when you've shot your 15,000 rounds to 20,000 rounds all year, and in the summer, Tora Berger does use gloves.